into this game. Daybreak is our map. It's going to be I don't really know what I'm going to do today. Today is a really weird day because obviously we've got this Korean server qualifier now. And today's just full of action. Like, we could potentially stream Go for SC2 a little bit later on. We could potentially stream... We do have Team League to stream tonight. But that's going to lead into the American server qualifier again. Into another Korean server qualifier. Like, when do we sleep? You know, when do we turn the stream off? You know, when do we take a break? I think we'll probably do this qualifier, go offline, not do Go for SC2, go live for Team League at like 7 PM CET, and then just go from 7 PM CET all the way through the night and into the Korean server qualifier in the morning. Just stay live all the way through the night and do something along those lines. I think that is probably going to be the best way to do things. Bring us all of the best action. Sad that we have to miss Go for SC2, but that should create... I mean, that's basically what we did the other night. That's what we did on the first time there was a Korean server qualifier. What day was that? Was that Thursday? Yeah, Thursday night through into Friday. We stayed up all night long. It was a great stream minus the crashes that we had. So maybe we'll try and do something like that once again. As we do set up into this best of 3, then let's get this rolling. To the top right-hand side, the red Terran player. It is going to be INnoVation. And his opponent in the round of 64 here today is going to be the blue Protoss player down to the bottom left. Give it up if you're cheering on Seed. So yesterday we saw a live qualifying through the lower bracket of the first Korean qualifier, Stage 2. And he also was joined by Solar from the winner bracket, as well as the other matchup we cast. Dark. Yes, Dark actually defeating INnoVation yesterday in the qualifying match 3-1. There's some really good games yesterday. If you didn't get to catch them, do go check out the VODs. They're a little bit cut up because my PC decided to have some issues. However, and again, I don't want to curse this, however, I've been working on it all last night. I've been reading a load of stuff. I've done a load of stuff. I've tested it thoroughly. And I've loaded into Echo this morning and last night over 20 times without blue screen. So, fingers crossed, everything is fixed for the day. Hopefully we're not going to have any more tech issues like we had yesterday. And we should just be straight up clean and easy and full of StarCraft without any problems at all. Hopefully. If all goes well. And as we do see, early on in this game, by the way, not a lot happening, just the command center coming down the low ground. Obviously the Nexus is finished up, and we do see Seed investing into the Twilight Council quite early on. I was going to say quite an early Twilight Council, but I got my words mixed up. So, going to be seeing the Twilight Council. This is going to allow him to go into a fairly fast resonating Glaives or Dark Shrine. Generally, when a Twilight Council comes down this quickly without a robo facility alongside it, it is looking to be a lot of pressure, a lot of aggression out of the Protoss player. More so than, oh, I'm just going to expand and play, you know, take a third base nice and friendly. He is actually going to start up Blink, so maybe I'm completely wrong on this judgment, and maybe this is just a way to get up into Blink, but you have to question, why does he need Blink this early on, unless he's going to use it in some form of aggressive manner? So generally it does set you up aggressively just because you get that upgrade so fast. You know, you forego the robo facility, which is generally quite important to get rid of riddle mines and so on as well. You know, you forego that to get this Blink up ASAP. As we're going to be seeing the Widow Mine just sat out here. First medevac coming up, and it's going to be the 2 Widow Mine drop in just a couple of moments. INnoVation did scout in, didn't see anything really though. So there's that robo coming up. I mean, this could turn out to be kind of fairly standard from C. He could just end up taking the third base. But again, I do ask, why take the Blink so early? Why not go robo Twilight at the same time and get the Blink just a few seconds later? Is this earlier Blink really going to do much for him if he just sits back at home defensively? Well, possibly. I mean, that's got some potential. He's going to be seeing these couple of Stalkers going to be working their way through these rocks down on the low ground. I'm just going to be seeing the Engineering Bay on the way from INnoVation as well. I mean, very standard stuff. We see the Widow Mines do actually burrow over here. A couple of kills on this one. The other one looks as though it got taken down before it burrowed. So, well, a couple of kills, nothing too major then. And it does just mean that INnoVation just applies a little bit of pressure, does see the Twilight Council, sees the Robo as well. I mean, he just now knows that this is the tech structures he's playing against, basically, at this stage of the game. So he knows what's up, he knows what's happening. There's a Warp Prism coming down. Again, we're only on 3 gates. How many Stalkers are we at so far? 5? Okay, looks as though we're just going to see the Robo base, so... For everything I said about early aggression, this is not really going to be that. I mean, a little bit of Warp Prism harassment but that shall be all as he mainly just looks to tech up in towards the Robo Bay, into the Colossi, and we'll probably add on Double Forge as well. That's the way we've seen things go as of late, so Double Forge, probably move towards the third base, and just start pulling it out from there. So you see this Observer coming in towards the center of the map, and, well, Stimpack starts up on this barracks, and he's got +1 on the way as well. Going up into his third rack, so he can also start combat shields. You can sort of see the attack innovation is building up in towards. He's got the 2 siege tanks out, and he's going to be able to, as he drops this barracks onto the tech lab, he's going to be able to build up combat shields to line up nicely with +1 stim. He's going to make a very crisp timing with medevacs, medevacs and all, to go across the map with and to try and get some further damage done. So Colossus is on the way out, the first one right here. So there's going to be a little bit of Stalker pressure at the front, but with 2 siege tanks and, well, plenty of Marines and Marauders, there's no way these Stalkers can really do enough. I mean, Blink Stalker kind of attacks like this have really fallen out of the metagame because the openings of the Terran player have been much better at kind of holding these sort of attacks in recent times. For a long time we didn't really see many tanks coming out from the Terran players in early game PvT, but now it's almost standard to get 2 of them out early, so we don't usually see kind of a lot of kind of pressure like this usually anymore. But Siege is going to be going for this now. He's going to try and target down the turret. Kind of nice. I mean, if you get rid of the turret, it opens up that area to Warp Prism Harass again. Maybe scares INnoVation because, hey, if you're targeting down a turret, who knows when the DTs are going to wander in and try and kill everything, right? So, just keeps INnoVation maybe a little bit concerned. And he could have got a couple of SCVs instead. Maybe would have been a little bit better overall. Either way, we do see the probe coming up towards the third base. We'll be putting this down shortly. No double forge, actually, just the single forge coming down. A little bit later on as well. Plenty of gateways up as well, you will notice. And again, that's something we see kind of commonly nowadays. Just the lots of gateways. I mean, it's kind of one of the things if you go fast Colossus, you go lots of gates and then take the third Nexus. And the whole idea is that you get a really strong army up in preparation for this sort of push that INnoVation's going for. Pros players have been so used to early in Legacy of the Void taking the faster third base and just expanding super quickly. Now that the game, now that players are realizing kind of what's going on and that the metagame is kind of aggressive for the Terran player around the 7 and 8 minute marker, they're saying, okay, well, let's not take the third base too early. Let's build up enough army first and go from there. The army at the back is going to pick off these couple of tanks for free. Might actually not get that one if INnoVation lifts it, no, but we do see the third base already cancelled. We're actually going to see a loop around. Nice time warp, actually. That's kind of cute because it will slow this army down enough for Seed to start catching up a bit here. Trying to blink forwards into the Widowmine, but instead the Widowmine still goes off into the center. INnoVation does manage to loop around, but it wasn't a bad idea from Seed. The time warp was really cool. At the same time, double drop into the main base mineral line as INnoVation trying to do some damage over here as well. A couple of Widowmines starting to go off. Plenty of adepts. We'll see one of the medevacs going down. The other will have to back away as well. Behind all of this, though, third command center is on the way up, about to finish here. And that means that INnoVation is going to have his free base to mine from very shortly. Comes in to try and cancel the third base once more, but guess what? Seed doesn't have it. Doesn't exist. Seed still without the third. Kills the pylon, leaves the Marine here to try and scout. These Widowmines still in position over here as well. We'll actually relocate one of them. Actually going to bring it around with the army as the Observer comes in. It's only going to be the one kill right there as Seed. I wonder what he does now. I wonder if he does retake the third Nexus, which has now been delayed by so much. I wonder if he goes across the map and he just goes for a large counterattack. The thing is, the counterattack I don't think would be that effective. It's not as though he really traded super well against any of these drops or attacks. I mean, he picked off a couple of siege tanks and that was a nice start, but INnoVation has been very good at retaining these units. I mean, look at how little bio he's lost. 3 Marauders, 9 Marines. It's really not that much at all. So it's not as though Seed can just hit a counterattack and be like, haha, I've got so much more than you. Well, no, that's just not going to happen. So I think he's best off trying to retake the third base. Maybe if he'd, again, lost his third Nexus, but he'd killed off maybe a couple more medevacs of units, say, then I think the counterattack is much more potent, and then he may actually move across the map and try and do something with it, as we see INnoVation takes down the central rocks, looking to attack in here in the next couple of moments. There's a medevac trying to escape from the Protoss bases as well. And as we see him starting to advance forward, more Vikings coming across the map. That'll be 8 in total in the skies as well. 8 against 3 Colossus. You would like to have a couple more, but maybe he just feels confident anyway. I mean, stimming in towards this army would suggest that generally. A couple of force fields coming down. Seed losing one of these Colossus already. I mean, the thing is he can fight into this because there's no Stalkers. They're in the main, completely out of position to deal with this, which means that he just doesn't get rid of any of the Vikings in the sky, so they continue to sit around. Now they will land on the ground as well, and they'll help fight this army as a few more bio units coming in as well. They'll help to clean up what is remaining. Not really too much. I mean, a few Stalkers left, a few Zealots as well, and INnoVation will just kite around with these. get rid of those zealots, and that is going to be game as he throws down the scan, Seed throws down the GG, INnoVation takes game number 1 of this best of 3. Concluded. So we'll try and bring you guys as much action as possible, basically, but it does rely on players actually submitting their replays to the website as it's meant to be, so fingers crossed it will happen, and we can get some replays to cast and bring you guys a bit more of the action, because otherwise it's going to be like a very short stream here in the morning. A very short stream indeed. Anyways, let's kick this off. To the bottom right hand side, our red Terran player is going to be INnoVation. And down to the bottom left-hand side, our blue pro awesome team, Revolution. It is Seed. INnoVation is still teamless. I do wonder who will pick him up. I mean, it's only a matter of time, because it gets to this point where either he starts to ask for less, or someone just realizes how much of a god he is and actually pays him what he wants, you know? Like, one of the two has got to happen at some point. The guy's not going to stay teamless forever, surely. I do wonder, like, I feel as though a lot of Korean SC2 is sort of, I mean, I know it's not really on the up compared to last year, but I feel as though it's still starting to stabilize a little bit, you know? I've been saying this for a while. I mean, as Kesper left StarCraft 2 alone, it really allowed a lot of content creators to move over to the Korean server and to Korean players in terms of producing content. And so there's a few more, like, cups and leagues now on the, you know, in Korea, basically, online. And while it isn't, you know, anything major just yet, you know, that's the sort of stuff that could definitely start to bring sponsors back in and, you know, start to, you know, bring a bit more support back into the Korean scene. It is kind of what I thought was always missing from the Korean scene, personally. I know they all had teams and salaries and they all played for Pro League and so on. There's a very different kind of culture to kind of the Western scene where the online section of StarCraft 2 is just as important as a lot of the offline events a lot of the time, because it is kind of very, you know, it is kind of... The online scene really does flourish in StarCraft because it's such an easy game to run online events for. You know, you take $100, you throw on a cup, and you know, you can get a few thousand viewers for it. Good players sign up as well, because it's easy for the players to sign up and play for a few hours on their own. You know, if they want to play, it's, you know, reasonably good practice. It doesn't actually take up too much time, unless you go quite far, in which case you get a good chance of winning the money, of course, as well. I was going to see this probe. Going to be moving in towards the center of the map, and Adept moving out in towards the middle as well, and see, just looking to see what is up. Twilight Council and a robot facility dropping down for our Protoss player. And this SCV just going to be coming in towards the center of the map as well, so INnoVation just moving around scouting. I mean, he's seen his opponent isn't top right, sees it isn't top left, and now, I mean, if he moves across the map, it's very unlikely an SCV will get into the base and pick up information. So instead pulls it back to mine. Unfortunately, he gets intercepted by the Adept anyways, and the SCV will go down. And you've seen these two depots going to be raised, just going to block the Adept from moving in towards the main base, of course. And as we see the Resonating Glaives starting up this time around from the Twilight Council, so a little bit of a difference, this time faster Glaives and a Blink, and we'll see potentially a bit more aggression out of this one. And as we, we'll see how he tries to trade this in the early stages, as we're going to be seeing the Warp Prism probably on the way shortly. I mean, if you go for Glaives, you're almost definitely going to get Warp Prism out and start getting these Adepts into the mineral lines, start to get them to actually do some damage. INnoVation is doing the same old build order once again. I mean, why not? Because it's been working for him. And again, it's standard for a reason. First Siege Tank on the way out. He didn't actually... He does have a Widow Mine drop across the map. Good thing I checked that right there, because I completely missed the fact it was over here. Not gonna lie. There we go. Widow Mine's gonna burrow. Probes, one of them will have to split away. And it will just be one connection so far. Will unburrow. Actually, will not reburrow. I thought he might reburrow here and try and get the probes from coming back in. And he's gonna burrow once again. Another Widow Mine shot. We'll just... he's gonna unburrow once again, and this time... Gets two more probes out of it, actually. Loses a Widow Mine, but gets two probes instead of one. I mean, it's okay. I mean, if he kept it alive and just killed one, it's very likely either kills, you know, he's only going to kill one more anyway when it comes back in, then it would die. So, probably not a bad idea. Works out overall, I think. As we see this medevac, still going to look for a little bit more pressure. As extra gateways come up here, we see Seed starting to build into this aggressive play with the Resonating Glaives. He is still looking to take a third Nexus, I think. You know, he's taking the Forge right now, so he's looking to upgrade. He's starting to blink as well, so he's looking to get further than just this initial sort of, you know, resonating glaives and attack and just kill him. He's looking to try and get on the map, really kind of take control of the map with blink and so on. He's looking to just build on up in towards a bit more of a macro-focused game. It's just going to be a bit of a different composition. Glaives, Stalkers, Immortals mixed in as well. It's interesting actually because it really feels the meta is starting to do a bit of a 180, as this is kind of a build that was kind of in the meta game way back when, way back kind of towards the start of Legacy of the Void, and it's a build which, it's a composition which kind of relies on the power of the warping of gateways, If you have like 9-10 gates, you can remax on Adept Stalker so quickly, and with the upgrades they are very powerful units, and the idea is you trade and you keep on trading effectively through the mid game to slow down the Terran player from getting into any kind of really scary Liberator counter or anything. Mixing in a couple of Immortals obviously gives you a bit more of a backbone to the army as well, and you can also go for Temple Archives and add a couple Archons in as the game continues too, with the option for Storm as well. So, I mean, a lot of potential. I mean, you could also just switch into Robobay with this if you really wanted to, but, so far we haven't really seen the Glaives come into play. And the Glaives is still a nice upgrade to have. It's just with the way he opens, going Glaives then Stalkers, and then Glaives then Blink, he will kind of focus more on gateway units for a little while at least. You've seen these SLTOs just setting up. I'm just going to be seeing the, again, the Blink is going to be finishing from Seeds, so I mean, he's just building into this. I mean, just what? The INnoVation's getting ready to attack though, right? I mean, Stimpack's finished. He's actually got his upgrades, all of them right now, and he's just sitting back at home. Because I think he came in, he scoured these extra gates, and he thought, like, oh man, well, I've got to be a little bit careful of potential aggression. So INnoVation is being much more passive this game than he was the last. And now he's going to move out, and again, leaving his couple of tanks at home for safety with a couple of bunkers full of Marines and Marauders. He is a little bit vulnerable over towards the main. He's got a couple of turrets up, and although they won't really stop the warp isn't going into it unless it completely changes direction, for some reason flies in from the right angle for 2 turrets to hit. At the same time, as INnoVation scans, he's going to see, well, MSC is here. They'll begin to unload. I mean, Overcharge will not do a lot against 4 Medivacs units, though. That's the problem. Going to need a bit of a large army at this point. We're going to see him moving forward, getting another pylon right away. And this makes life a bit easier, because now you can actually keep on fighting these gateway units without an Overcharge being in range. Some force fields coming down, and INnoVation will lift up and back away. Is there a Blink to pick off that Medivac? No, not quite. Here are the Adepts, as at the same time INnoVation doesn't really have anything left on his natural. He moved across the map with all the rest of his reinforcements, so he doesn't have anything in the main base at all. 6 SCVs already going down. Another SCV being picked off as well. Marines and Marauders still trading out here with these Adepts. You're going to see a couple more Adepts coming in the back of this mineral line already as moving up this ramp. Well, here we go. INnoVation going to keep on trying to fight. A couple of force fields coming down as Marines and Marauders will move on up, and well, they are starting to make their way through this Nexus already. So Nexus taking a little bit of damage. And some Adepts will shade forwards and look to try and jump on top of these siege tanks perhaps. And there we go, Adepts have shaded on in, and well, we're going to be seeing these Marines and Marauders, as we were mentioning, going to keep on fighting, working their way through this army. And we've seen another Adept going down, a couple of sentries starting to be picked off as well. INnoVation's position is still very strong as, well, Warp Prism is here, but it's slowly being cleaned out, the units inside of it at least. I mean, he can warp in again, but I don't think it's worthwhile anymore. These tanks continue to shell away. INnoVation just has enough to keep on fighting here, continues to trade with these Adepts. They're going to go down. A few probes as well. INnoVation breaks through the third base, and he really is in a position now to just clean up in game number 2 and to move on through to the round of 16, which is today's round where you can play in to qualify from. So he'll move through into the best of 5 matchup. It will be difficult for Seed to recover from this one now, looking as though he's trailing, looking to be behind. And, well, I mean, what's he going to do? He'll put another set of Adepts over towards the main base. And he'll probably just have to lift a few of these up into the prism and back away, because there's enough reinforcements here to clean up without really any issue at all. So cleans that up and gets pushed away, and we've seen more of these units from INnoVation coming through the center of the map. And as we're going to be seeing the some INnoVation moving over here, going to see the Liberator is actually starting to chase down this Warp Prism, and he's going to be shutting this down again, just kind of shutting down these Adepts. And I mean, he shuts this down, and he goes for another attack across the map. And what is there to stop him? I mean, the composition from Seed is just going to be the same. Just there's going to be less than there was the last time around. INnoVation still even maintaining these siege tanks from earlier. I mean, he's really not lost anything, has he? Resources lost 7.7k to 3.4. Yeah, INnoVation just with way too much. I think he lost actually a fair amount of SCVs, as we're going to be seeing the third base rebuilding. INnoVation going to pull back a little bit. I mean, Seed is moving into the center of the map, so it's probably kind of the better idea. Kind of, play it safe. If your opponent's going to attack into you, then let him. At the same time, I mean, he just has so much anyways. He's going to stim forwards here, and actually, if he catches this Immortal, I mean, that's just going to be a big pick-off as well. We're going to see the Liberator sieging, the tanks will siege as well. He'll push his opponent back, will unsiege everything now and keep on going forwards. And again, siege time in this game is limited, as we see him continue to pull back down towards the bottom left-hand side. Here we go, Marines and Marauders going to stim in once again, and Immortal going down already, and a few more Liberators sieged up on top of this army. Siege is just going to have to type out. There's no way he fights this. There is no way.